A while back I did a review of this AE86 that's inspired by the Initial D manga, but it had a lot of paint problems. I had to correct a lot of the black paint issues. But there's a new brand that I've never saw before that has a version, and truthfully I didn't really care that it has this model in it, but it has the sedan version of the AE86. So that's why I really got this set here. But by coincidence, we can compare the regular coupe or liftback version as well. Okay, so let's see. I've never seen this packaging before here. So it says modelers with an apostrophe S. Okay, Inter-Allied Company. Interesting little cartoon background there. Some Japanese text. Kodansha. I don't know if that's like the parent group or what the deal is with Kodansha. Oh, maybe that's like the cartoon. Maybe it's copy. I don't know if it's approved by the Initial D franchise. I mean, this might be Japanese for the Initial D stuff. Okay, well, alright. Let's get this box open. Okay, now let's see. Look at this thing. So pretty cool. We got the cartoon characters driving these cars. Takumi is the main character of the Initial D franchise. He's a high school guy, I guess, that and his father has a tofu shop, and he delivers tofu, I guess, in this AE86, and then I guess he learned how to start drifting cars. Some drift teams would pass him, and then he got involved with the drift scene. That's my understanding of Initial D. I haven't really watched it much, though, so I don't know who this person is. Sidewinder. Oh, maybe this is the Drift Team Project D, and Drift Team Sidewinder. So I'm not really sure who that character is, but I'm assuming maybe in one of the cartoons these two cars are racing each other. But anyways, it's a really cool looking base, obviously. I mean, you got a road with the Japanese markings on it, and it's actually configured in a way that they actually are turning a little bit, so pretty cool looking. Let's take these off the stands though. So we're going to start with this one and compare it to the Time Micro. So this is pretty well designed here. They have a little rubber O-ring trapping the screw on there, so it keeps the screw from falling out, but it also keeps a little gap, so hopefully it didn't crush the tires. But let's find out if the tires are crushed or not. We'll find out after we compare it to this real car here. There's another rear view here. I don't know if that's the same car, probably not. Alright. Okay, well, overall the proportions look pretty good. Yeah, alright, you can pause the video and compare for yourself. Let's get into this model here. Okay. So I think that's maybe the name of the tofu shop. Fujiwara Tofu, I forget. And then I think that's Trueno down there. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus there. Yeah, it does say Trueno. So I've got the wheels, they're painted glossy black, and it looks like, yeah, there's a brake system back in there. There we go. It's just not really visible. I almost feel like the wheel is hitting that rotor, or there's some sort of, see, you can hear it clicking. So that's not good. You probably don't want to spin these wheels too much if you get this model. Okay, so the door handle is black, and it's sticking out a little bit, and then underneath it, it's actually going inwards. So that's a very realistic door handle. And then the key lock is sticking out and painted silver. Now the mirrors, there's a reflective sticker, so you can't get better than that. Okay. Going to the front. Oh, before I do that, so the black paint on this side at least is really nice. That was not the case with the Time Micro, if you want to refer back to that video. Okay, the windows here, they got the blackout printing here. It's printed on the plastic casting itself. It's not printed on the die cast. Okay, going to the front here. Look at this. That's a plastic side turn signal. So that's pretty good. A lot of other brands would just paint that orange, but no, these guys have a plastic one. Same here. Granted, it's not lined up as well as this one, but plastic. Plastic, plastic. So there's 8 pieces of plastic representing the lights on the front end of this vehicle. You can't really ask for much more than that. I don't know how, that's pretty awesome. So this is why I get so angry at like other brands with like all the NSXs, the first generation NSX, Hobby Japan, Ignition Model, and TLV. They painted on their turn signals. That really irks me, so I'm never going to get that model apparently. Okay, well anyways, so I mean that's great. It's really nice. I suppose if I was nitpicky, it'd be nice if the plastic flash was trimmed off better. You can see that little bit of plastic there. I almost feel like the yellow one's reflective behind it. I don't know, I think that like there might be silver paint behind that yellow. It's not just yellow because this is black, right? So there must be silver paint behind that yellow. Otherwise it would just be black if this was yellow on top of a black surface. Okay, well anyways, the license plate looks good, the Initial D franchise, I guess. Trueno is legible. A really fine texture here in these grills, so that's good. You can even see a texture here on the headlights as well. Alright, so going up to the top, look at this carbon fiber. I can feel a tiny texture, these little stripes. So it's not clear coated. I guess that must be tampo printed. Or possibly. Yeah, I don't think it would be a decal. It's not wrinkly enough. I think it's like painted black and then they tampo print the stripes on top of it. That would be my guess. Okay, so some sticking up wiper fluid stuff. And then the wiper blades. I can't tell if those are separate metal pieces. They're really small. I can feel them, I just can't. I think they are separate pieces. The reason why I guess that is right here you can see that I think that's glue. I think that's gluing on the wiper blade. And see, it's lifted off right there. So that's pretty impressive. It's got separate metal wiper blades. Really small ones too. Alright, the blackout again is printed on there. Let's see about this side. Pretty much, oh, here's an issue. There's some extra black paint there. So that's too bad. I was on a roll, but it's always a problem on these models. Okay, but at least all this stuff looks pretty good. Alright. The roof, yeah, it's just white, I guess. Yeah, a little extra black there. Maybe I could take some Tamiya polishing compound and get this black off with some Q-tips. Alright, so the tail end here. We got the exhaust tip, and it looks really good because there's a hole in the middle of it. And look at the rim, it's so thin. I mean, that's a really realistic looking exhaust pipe. How thin it is. So that's impressive. I'm wondering if it's metal. I think it is metal. Look at this muffler. Look at the paint, right? Now look at that exhaust tip. It's a different shininess. I think that the tip is actually a cut piece of metal tube and is glued onto that plastic. So that's really realistic. So the bottoming out there must be the silver of this plastic piece, and this is a metal tube cut and put on there. So wow, this is definitely, I think, better than the Time Micro version. This is probably the best AE86 model out there. But let's finish this first. I'll probably find a disaster later. Thick taillights, good separation of color there, and even the white there as well. Nice printing on the license plate. Toyota Apex twin cam. What does that say? Twin cam 16? Yeah, I guess it's a 16 valver. And then the Trueno. And then the key is the lock here is sticking up, painted silver. So that's really good. Bottom here, it's screwed together, so that's another plus. I don't know why you'd want to swap out the wheels, but you could pretty easily with the fact that this is screwed together. I think it is cast metal. It feels cool to the touch. And it does have some weight to it, so I don't think this is a resin. I think it's still die cast. Okay, well I guess that would leave the interior. So you got the brown, and then let's see if I can get some extra light in here. Alright, you got the e-brake there on the front. The rear cushions have some ribs there. The front seats don't have ribs. They seem to be sport racing seats. See this, the shoulder bolsters there? The center of the dash has like some molded in vents. Hold on, let me hit the focus again. Let me try to zoom in. Alright, so there's a black steering wheel. I'm trying to see it now. Unfortunately, the dashboard has nothing in there. It's just the same brown as the rest of the instruments. I mean, there's no instruments. The shifter is black though. It's a separate piece there. Okay. Well, it would have been ideal if it had like a graphic, like a decal of the instrument clusters, you know, the rev meter and the speedo and fuel gauge and all that stuff. But you mostly look at cars on the outside. How many of you guys actually peer into the interior of these things more than once? I know I don't. Okay, yeah, in summary, this is the nicest AE86 I have ever seen in 164. So, I guess let's pull out the tray of comparison and bring back that Time Micro. The Time Micro is heavier, for sure. Okay, let's start with the fronts. So Time Micro painted on their lights other than the headlights. You see, the orange is painted, the yellow fog lights are painted. But it does have a more accurate front license plate. This is, I think, the license plate from one of the cartoons, as I saw in one of the comments. So thanks for commenting. The side markers are painted orange as well. So I do like that there's a little light bulb indication there on the Time Micro, although the light bulb here is crooked. It's offset, so that doesn't make sense. But this one has the rib detail on the lenses, which I think you would have had on old halogen type of lenses back then. So I would say still the front end is better on this. It's just that the license plate is better on the Time Micro. Okay, let's go with the rear one. So again, Time Micro has the more accurate license plate to one of the actual episodes. But taillight wise, I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of thrown off by the fact that the Time Micro is a little bit higher up in its suspension, whereas this is lowered. But again, these are translations of a cartoon series, so who's to say which is right and wrong? I don't know. But as nice as the Time Micro exhaust is, it's all plastic. This is literally a metal tube, so you got to give it to this modeler's company for doing that better. They both have reflective rear mirrors, but it's interesting how much bigger the mirrors are on the modelers. Like that's a huge difference. But I can't tell which would be more accurate. It's almost like I think there should be a mirror in between the two that would be more accurate. So even wash there, I guess. They both have the brownish interior. Okay. So this is always a challenging one, the side view. Let me back out. Okay. And unfortunately the wheels are black, so it's really hard to tell the details there. But if you look at the text there, they both have it. It's just one's... I don't know which... Again, it's an interpretation of a cartoon, so I don't know. It's a wash, I guess, which is better there. Okay. And the Time Micro also has metal separate wiper blades. They're just sticking out more. And these are much more hidden. I almost actually feel this is more accurate. You know, looking at the car there, you can clearly see the wiper blades. So I would have to guess that Time Micro may have done a better job. What's missing from both of them is the rear wiper blade. Neither of these have a rear wiper blade, but if you back up to the photo comparison, the real car does. Now, carbon fiber hood wise, the The model is just clearly more glossy, you know, like wet carbon. This looks like, well, it's not as good. I almost think this might be a decal. You see how it's wrinkled and dotted? So this might be a decal. I think this is black tampo print with another striping print on top of it. Again, I might be wrong though. So I would give it up to this modeler's company for the detail there. The Time has no wiper fluid protrusions. This one does. The pop-up headlights. Without standing next to a real car, it's hard to know which lights are more accurate. But you can see the length of the headlight here versus they're really short here. Right? From a side view, I almost feel this would make more sense. This not so much. It's just too short, you know? So again, I think Modelers wins out there. And not that it really matters. I mean, you're not going to display your car upside down, but Time Micro does add the extra paint. The tires of the Time Micro have finer tread blocks. I kind of like the Time Micro tread blocks more, being this one. These treads don't really look like normal street tire treads. They're really weird looking, actually. And then you got the rubbing of the brakes. The Time brakes, I think, might be better. So we have even light getting into each of those. Yeah. I like the Time Micro as far as the wheels and the brakes go. You can clearly tell there's a brake system in there. Although, is there a brake caliper? I don't think there's a caliper here, right? You see anything? I just see a round disc. Yeah, I think it's spinning with the wheel. So actually, I might have to retract that because this one, the brake does not. Hold on. You see, there's the caliper, and it doesn't spin with the wheel. But the Time, it's not as accurate of a brake system, but you can see it better. So that's more, I think that's, I don't know. I honestly don't know which I like more. I like being able to see a brake system, but this actually has a more accurate one. Tough call. Alright. But see, oh boy, yeah, I just hate it. Look at this paint, man. This is a wreck from Time Micro. It's such a disgusting chunk of paint. I don't understand. There's no quality control there. So the paint is just better on this. It just seems thinner and better. Also, the door handle on this guy, it's not printed centered. It does have the recess though. It just wasn't printed very well. Okay, so I guess you gotta make up your decisions of what you think is better. I think what's really doing it for me on this guy is the fact that it literally has 8 pieces of plastic to represent the front lights, so I just don't know how you could get more accurate than that. I also think that the headlights themselves are more accurate just because this is longer, whereas this it's not. So okay, so now we've seen that. No O-rings on that one. That's really strange. This one just has giant plastic spacers built into the bottom. So why? I don't know. They were designed at different time periods apparently, but that's just a really weird thing to see, I think. Okay, so look at the side of this guy. So very similar, right? You know, the brakes there is just hard to see. Does it click? It doesn't click, but there's some sort of friction going on inside of there, so it's really hard. Yeah, those wheels are not moving. So not a roller. The rears are fine though. So again, a much lamer base here. But yeah, I think that's a metal exhaust tip. Again, it's a different shininess. And that is weird. There's no pipe leading to that muffler. It's just a muffler with no actual tube going to it. Here you kind of see like a tube going to it. Oh, look at that. I see. It's a different base. There is a tube. It's just that the muffler is too short or something. Or it should be touched. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it just wasn't glued on right. It may, well, whatever. You can figure that out, right? What I'm trying to say. Alright, so the rear end here. Totally different lights. Whoa. Alright. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, totally different lights. Alright, but they're nice that they're thick plastic. You got the license plate. But where's all the printing? Where's the Toyota? Where's the Corolla or Trueno printing? It's got a separate black wing here. There's a contaminant to the paint right there. The door handles are same, sticking up and going in, sticking up lock mechanism. Fuel for a door. The Trueno there is on the side like the other one. Black paint looks pretty good. Yeah, nothing wrong. Black out there. Reflective mirrors, good. Alright, so at least on the front it says Trueno, the Initial D thing. And then yes, plastic, plastic, plastic. No fog lights. But still, nice to see 6 pieces of plastic, and these turn signals are better than the last one. They're much bigger. Okay. Now we have a different color interior. But before that, the wiper blades, yeah, I guess those must be metal pieces as well. Definitely gonna need the flashlight for the interior on this one. Okay, so really sticking up e-brake. The shifter is way up there, and it's elevated quite a lot, so that seems weird. I don't know if the real Truenos are like that. This is a totally gutted out vehicle, so there's no rear seats at all. So I guess they must have modeled this off the cartoon, where, you know, the cartoon character already stripped out the car, put in a couple racing seats here. Boy, it's really hard to see a black interior through these distorted windows. And then, yeah, there's no instruments there. It's just black plastic. Okay, well, I'm not aware of anyone making this Trueno in 1/64 scale. If you do know, please leave a comment. I think this is the only choice. Well, this is an Aoshima. It's got those Itasha things. It's got all sorts of Japanese decos on it. Some sort of trend going on there. And then this is the Hot Wheels version of a Falcon livery. I 3D printed my own wheels though. I just wanted to show the scale difference between the Hot Wheels and a 1/64. It's not too far off, the Hot Wheels, but it's definitely noticeably larger, you know. Okay. So, well, if you like Toyotas and Initial D, this definitely might be up your alley. It's a superior Initial D Takumi car, and I'm pretty sure this is the only body form of that Corolla. So that's it. It's just called Modeler's World, and I found mine online, and I think they're still out there. I think it only released a few months ago, but Initial D is highly sought after. If you look up like the Kyosho ones, they go for a lot of money, and they're actually not that common. So these are better than the Kyoshos by far. The Time Micro isn't necessarily bad, it's just not as good. But that's also reflected in the price. I think this Time Micro is like maybe 20 bucks, but this box set you're gonna find it for 50 or more dollars. So it falls in line, I guess, both of them, both brands there. Okay guys, super long video, so hopefully I'll catch you in the next drift. See ya.